With a lot of new content floating around about the idea of a supposed connection between Jack Jack and Gamma Jack, many theorists have come up with solid theories about how Gamma Jack and Jack Jack are connected. But there are still many outliers to consider. Today we're going to talk about those outliers and how they could disprove many theories about Gamma Jack not only being the villain for Incredibles 3, but also Jack Jack being Gamma Jack from the future. Now, although Gamma Jack and Jack Jack have similar powers, it's about the way they use those powers. For example, Jack Jack can fly just like Gamma Jack, but they use those powers in two completely different ways. Also, Jack Jack has the ability to shoot laser beams from his eyes, similar to how Gamma Jack shoots radiation. Looking back to The Incredibles 2, you can see how Jack Jack uses that specific power to fly towards Evelyn. Similarly, Gamma Jack can fly using radiation, but there's a difference there. It's radiation. He achieves it by using radiation waves, which also leave a faint green trail behind him. And we can see that while playing the LEGO Incredibles video game where he achieves that. And on the same thought of radiation, that is also what Gamma Jack uses to shoot laser beams and high intensity concentrated laser waves out of his eyes. Whereas Jack Jack can only shoot laser beams and it has nothing to do with actual radiation. If we were talking about similarity there, we can really compare him to Gazerbeam and how he's able to use his laser beams and laser blasts just like Jack Jack, as seen in the backyard clip where he was fighting the raccoon. One thing though to mention that I found very interesting was that Jack Jack, as seen in the first movie, is a very picky eater, and that is also noted in the NSA files about Gamma Jack. Now, it's worth mentioning that later on, as Jack Jack grows up and he loses some major powers that he has, he'll still be able to refine the powers that he keeps, which could lead him to having that similar power of shooting radiation instead of laser beams, and in being able to use the flight instead of just levitating, but also using radiation to do so. Now we're getting into the juicy stuff. First, we're going to talk about Gamma Jack's history, and this will mainly tie in to contradict the fact that they could be the same person. In the NSA tapes that we have at the end of the DVD version of the movie, there's a specific audio file Gamma Jack has that is pretty different from the others, and it shows just how unlikely the two characters are to be the same.
There's always going to be a lot of collateral damage. There's lots of villains, and there's lots of villainous deeds going on at any given time. Part of my job is to prioritize which villains I'm going to combat, so I take a look around, I see if there's any good-looking women who need to be rescued immediately, and then I sort of start from there and work my way down the list.
Yeah, we don't even have to listen to the whole file just to see how out-of-pocket Gamma Jack really was, and how his background as a super really rubbed some people the wrong way. But we can't be so quick to disprove that, because there are some parts of the first Incredibles movie that hint towards how Jack Jack was in a way being brainwashed to be just like Gamma Jack. For instance, the many scenes where Edna Mode is praising Jack Jack for many things and how he's just like her. And it makes sense because even Edna Mode herself says,
I used to design for gods.
But the main thing that is contradicting is the fact that in the timeline of The Incredibles, the Omnidroid attacks and events surrounding Gamma Jack's battle happened relatively early before the movie, which means that during the timeline where the heroes were lost to an Omnidroid, it was shortly before the events of the first movie, which also means that by the time Bob and Evelyn got married and had kids, it couldn't have been too much time before Jack Jack was born, which wouldn't realistically mean that he went back in time or anything like that. Now, while there are many and will continue to be new theories about different evidence that can be found to either prove or disprove this fact, it's still a very interesting theory, and there are many things that lead toward the fact that they could be very similar or different. But what do you think? Do you think that the idea of Gamma Jack and Jack Jack being similar is plausible, or do you also find your own inconsistencies? Let me know down in the comments because I would love to hear them. And that's all for now.